There's a lot of speculation about Angel Reese covering up the t-shirt everyone was wearing to celebrate Candace Parker. And this is before the game started. And a lot of players were on board, but Angel Reese was covering up the jersey. And it had fans wondering, was she offended by Candace Parker putting Angel Reese in the C tier list? Now, the reason why she put her in that category, because her position, she has every right to her opinion, is that you have to be a reliable number one or number two option, and you have to impact winning at the highest level. Now, of course, people want to talk about her championship ring in college, but I'll say this again: when you go to the pros, when it comes to the NBA, they don't really care about that. They don't, shove that in people's faces. They go, we still got to win the ultimate prize, which is the NBA championship. And to try and get upset because a legend player giving their opinions about your game right now is just nonsense stuff. Now, it's a lot of speculation. I don't know if that was Angel's reason for not showing off the jersey, but it's still, in my opinion, disrespectful because she's a legend in the game. She's been around forever. And to not just celebrate how good she was, it can turn off fans, because if you want to be likable from people, if you want people to embrace you and give you attention, these type of antics are going to turn them away. It's already bad enough the Angel Reese last year was saying, I got to be in those conversations with Caitlin Clark. Like, she was trying to, force herself in things that she didn't belong in. And it was clear as day that Caitlin Clark is still the better player. I know she's had her injuries this year, but last year she got her team to the playoffs and she was just a better basketball player. And she still is today. And people are still trying to have those conversations. And I'm not saying Angel Reese is not playing bad basketball. She has turned it around. Now, obviously, to start the season, she was shooting 31% from the field to start the month of May. And then she got to June, got up to 46%, 51% in July, and 54.8% from the field in August. Now, her team isn't going to make the playoffs again. And the argument is, can she be a number one or number two option? And will that impact winning? Right now, that is a no. Can that change next season? Of course, because you're going to have a whole offseason to work on your game. Hopefully, the Sky upgrades the roster. And then we can assess this conversation again next year. Let's just say the Sky do improve the roster and they put better pieces around Angel Reese and Cardoso, and you still get the same results. Well, then we have to conclude her first 3 seasons. She can rebound the basketball really well. She can average about 15 to 18 points a game. But when it comes to being that reliable number one, number two option, you can't rely on her, because at the end of the day, yes, you can average points, but if it doesn't lead to winning, then what are we doing here? And again, if you don't have a reliable jump shot and if you can't have a go-to move, and I'm not saying she's not working on these things, but right now there's other players that have a bigger impact. Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, the list goes on. And can Angel Reese reach those heights? That's to be determined. But I want to play the clip and give you more of my thoughts. So you notice there, she doesn't have the jersey being showcased. She has it covered up. And fans are wondering, were you upset about what Candace Parker had to say about her opinions in regards to Angel Reese being on tier or C tier status? So let me play the clip of what she had to say here. And people got mad about this because they're like, man, like, why did she say that? And again, she's entitled to her opinion. So let's see what Candace Parker had to say here.
You got Angel Reese. Then you got Angel Reese. I put her right at that C level. I think in terms of being above, you have to be able to have the ability to carry a team, be a 1 or 2 option. I think Angel Reese is fantastic at her role, which is offensive rebounding. She showed and demonstrated so much growth in that first year. I think that this is my tier.
And that's just it. And that might be why she did that. Fans are speculating. But Candace Parker is a legend. And folks are going to try to have conversations. And there was another take I saw. I'm going to pull it up for you guys, where this person was trying to compare the first 2 seasons of Angel Reese to Asia Wilson and Candace Parker. You got to have context in these conversations, because when you put a graphic up, please, you look dumb with this type of stuff. And people try to act like, oh, it's disrespectful because you have a take. Okay. There's nothing wrong with saying she's C level. And she got to be able to carry a team to the playoffs. We've seen plenty of people in the NBA, like Allen Iverson. He's had a washed up roster, and he's gotten the Sixers to the NBA Finals. Like his number 2 option was the Dikembe Mutombo. And at his stage of his career, he was more of a defensive anchor and not a guy who could go out there and just score in the post consistently. Iverson was averaging like 35, 40 points a night. We've seen Jimmy Butler carry an injured Miami Heat team to the NBA Finals. Tyler Hero was hurt. He had to rely on Bam Adebayo, who was up and down with being that reliable number 2 option. He had to get contributions from guys like Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin. And it's like Jimmy Butler's amazing. If you don't want to be in those conversations, show us that you can only average a lot of points, but impact winning. And if those two things don't coincide, then you're going to be in different conversations. That's just how it goes. You can't force yourself in conversations with other great players and act like, oh, you like this person here, 1.7 points away from averaging her points and beats CP3 in every other category. Like, what are we doing? Candace Parker is C-level player. Let's have the conversation about Candace Parker. Her second season, she had a baby. She came back, averaged 13 points, 48% from the field. But then, after the second season, 20 points and 50% from the field. Mind you, this graphic, what they're missing here, rookie of the year MVP. Like, you look dumb. You're comparing that to a 2-time All-Star. The most valuable player in your league at that time was Candace Parker. Angel Reese didn't touch that. Her first season, Candace Parker, 18 points a night, 52% from the field, 42% from 3. You're comparing Angel Reese to that. Let's not even talk about last year's stats for Angel Reese, because the majority of her games were like 12 points and 12 rebounds a night. And she wasn't even the number 1 option on her team. Stop it. A'ja Wilson, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. We're never going to discuss, like, it's embarrassing. Let's stop the cap. As you see here, I agree. Clowns like this don't know that Kansas was recovering from maternity leave in her second season. Angel Reese support will always be there for me, but some of Angel Reese stands are really embarrassing yourselves, I hear. Agreed. And you're going to say, still C tier. Come on, fam. You look very, very ignorant. So, yeah, it's just insane. I don't understand why you're trying to make these arguments because of points. We got to have context in these conversations. A'ja Wilson, well, let's go back to Candace Parker. Just her resume, 3-time WNBA champion, 2-time WNBA MVP. By the way, she won her MVP, I believe, in her rookie year. Yeah, her rookie season, she won MVP. She was better than vets out there. They viewed her as more valuable than her peers. That's insane stuff. But hey, you don't want to talk about that. Like, what are we doing? Even like the points here, this is the first season. This is crazy stuff. Look at the field goal percentage. Are we joking? This is crazy stuff. You want to say like, oh, that doesn't matter, or she's still a C-tier player. She also impacted winning. Like here it is here. I want to point this out. Her first season in the league, the Sparks went 20-14. The second season, 18-16. This is Angel Reese's first 2 seasons, 13, 27, 9, 20. I don't want to hear like all her rosters are bad. Okay? I just point out Allen Iverson. He had some bad rosters, carried into playoff appearances. We've seen number 1 options carry teams to the playoffs, and they have an average roster. We've seen this with LeBron James. We can't act like it can't be done. And I'm not trying to put it in the same conversation with LeBron. I'm just pointing out the fact we have seen a number 1 option on a basketball team carry an average roster to a playoff appearance or an NBA Finals. Simple. So to put Candace Parker and A'ja Wilson in the same tier level, or just Candace Parker and her level as Angel Reese, is absurd. It's blasphemous, and it doesn't bring any proper context. And you can be an Angel Reese fan. And look, I just said, like, Angel Reese has been shooting better from the field. No doubt about it. She's playing better. But if she's going to average the most points next year, and her team has a losing record where they're 19, 20 games under 500, then what are we talking about here? She's not in the same tier. Like, there's levels to this stuff. And until we see her make the playoffs and have a winning record, and she can showcase her skills where she can carry a roster and it can lead to winning, it's going to be the same conversations. You can't put somebody who won MVP in a C tier list with somebody who didn't, and they had a 20-14 record. That's ludicrous. It's just clown takes. Like you see this all the time on the internet. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the situation between Angel Reese and Candace Parker. Do you think Angel Reese did that intentionally? Love to hear your opinions about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.